The year was 1993, and I was in that great school called Bishop Senior School, Mukono, and I was in Senior 1. And when I got in there, one day we went in there to do our classes just like any one of you, and I saw something that I did not expect to see on a Monday morning. And what I remember is that some boy had brought a Playboy magazine, and there was a group of students that had gathered of all places around my seat, around my desk. And I said, what is happening? So I went and bumped into them, and I told someone that was close by, get out of my way, this is my seat. I really wanted to get to know what was happening around there. And friends, on a Monday morning, guys, boys and girls, we are busy watching boys, men, and women naked having sex. They were busy watching that. Now, I was brought up by 2 Orthodox Anglican teachers. Those are my parents. One Orthodox Anglican teacher plus another Orthodox Anglican teacher equals discipline. That is how I was raised up. You left home when we were going to school, 1, 2, to the well, 3, to the shop, 4, to the church. If you went anywhere else, the question was, where are you coming from? And before you gave an answer, you were already whipped. Discipline, I thank them for raising me like that. Your chaplain here is my OB at Bishop Senior School, so he knows what I'm talking about here. And friends, because of that, I wasn't, exposed to lots of these things. I'd never seen an adult naked, never in life. Up till that point, I'd seen my siblings because I bathed them at home. So when I got there, it was really, really surprising. When I took a look at what they're watching, man, I was lost in between excitement and guilt. Now, when I took a second look, I was like John Speak that had just discovered the source of the Nile. I was like, what? I'd never seen this whatsoever. But then there was a second part of me that was busy saying, what you're watching is bad. What you're watching is bad. There is always that second voice. Not so. I know you know it. And I knew what I was doing was wrong. And my heart started thumping like an old engine train. I knew I had to stop watching, but there was a part of me that had the better of me, and I continued watching. And friends, the teacher came shortly thereafter, and like this stuff, when the lecturer finds you doing funny stuff, what do? You guys, I know I'm in UCU, but I don't think you're that holy. Yeah? When they come in, you're like, yes, welcome, sir, welcome. And you put away all the dirt. It's a very long testimony. I need to cut it short. And friends, I cannot tell you that I went to class on that particular day. Now, I waited for the teacher to go, and I went to this particular guy, and I told him, man, you're the best. You're really the best. I tell you. And the guy looked at me. Of course, I was inoculating him because I thought he wasn't going to give me that thing. And I told him, can I, by the grace of God, can I borrow that thing? And the guy was like, hey, in our language, as long as you bring it back. And I felt like I'd received the treasure of life. And I went like, thank you very much. When you die, they should bury me instead. Because I thought I'd gotten a treasure. And friend, I went hiding, I went behind the classes, I went behind the toilets, I was watching this stuff. When you're doing something wrong, let me tell you one thing, a part of you will come and will tell you what you're doing is wrong. You don't need anyone to get to tell you this. And when people get to heaven, this business of claiming, I did not know, is a lie. This is why the word of God teaches us in Proverbs chapter 4, in verse 23, and says, guard your heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. You see that? I did not guard my heart. And after that, I continued watching and watching and watching and watching. And we left school and went home, and I continued watching. Someone comes, you're hiding it, and you're like, how are you? How are you? You're greeting them like 100 times. You want to make sure they have not seen what we're seeing. I went to the well. I didn't know whether to go with it or not, because I had my parents for teachers, and they were Anglicans, and you know what that means. And friends, I struggled with this. The word of the Lord teaches in James chapter 1, in verse 13, and it says, if any man is tempted, let him not say that God tempts me. For God never tempts anyone, neither is he tempted by sin. And then he goes right ahead and he says, if any man is tempted, they are being drawn by their own evil desires. And when their evil desires are of age, they become pregnant and they produce sin. And when sin is of age, it produces death. Have you seen the sequence? That is how it works. Shortly thereafter, we got to a point of realizing that this thing was no longer working in our lives. I had my best friend somewhere, I will not mention him, he doesn't live very far from here. People move, you may know him. And we used to watch this stuff together, We got to a point and it wasn't working anymore. And we wanted something harder. You remember the sequence of James? You're tempted by your own evil desires. The evil desires become pregnant. I don't know of who. Of course, the devil, because he's the father of all